Yo, my favorite part of Nightcrawler
Yeah.
was when the guy was just like, "You want to be a Nightcrawler? Then Nightcrawl."
Hardest part of the whole movie. Immaculate. Christopher Nolan could not have written a better script line
Insane.
than that. Insane. Well, hello to everybody listening. Our Nightcrawlers out there.
Yes,
This
sir.
is Frame by Frame, episode 2, John Miles. I'm here with my co-host, Kazma, the boy. And if you couldn't tell from that perfect intro, we're talking about Nightcrawler today. A great movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. We're going to save that for the end. We're going to get into it. We're going to teach you all our Nightcrawler tips, how to be a Nightcrawler, how to be a successful Nightcrawler, and how to grow a news management business into a successful business and corporation for the future.
Mm-hmm.
That's really how it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As you could tell, we've learned a lot.
Yeah.
So we really cannot wait to tell the people everything we've learned. But before we get into that, we got some news. We got some movie news.
Yup.
We're gonna get into that. How's it going, man?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah?
good. Stoked.
Same.
Stoked to be back.
Same, actually. If you noticed if anyone's listening from the first episode, we tried again, but we just could not get The Rock on the podcast. He was late. He's like, dude, I'm gonna be 3 days late, so I can't make it to the second episode either. He's supposed to be here for the first one, but what can you do? He's a busy guy.
Rumor has it that he's quote unquote still at the fucking, JFK or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but he just keeps going back and forth between like his terminal and the bathroom. He just keeps pissing, bro. It's crazy because you can't bring bottles on the plane.
No,
we're gonna get
exactly.
it. We'll get into that. I'm gonna save that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save that for
Yeah.
later. That could have been what they call in the biz a transition. I know. Movie stuff everywhere. This is why they listen. This is why the people listen. Because they learn frame by frame.
Yo. Spitting.
This is the type of entertainment and quality you can expect on Frame by Frame every week. And if you're not subscribed, if you haven't liked, if you're not listening or following us, then
What is you doing?
What is you doing, bro? What are you doing? Put on a movie and put it on mute, put the subtitles on, and just listen to us talk. It doesn't matter the movie. Put Nightcrawler on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do it right now. Do it. Are you
want
doing
to be a
it?
Nightcrawler?
We're going to wait.
You're gonna Nightcrawl.
Yeah, we're going to wait till you do it. All right, we're guessing that you did it now, so
Yeah.
I hope that you did it. If not, you
Yeah.
pause it, and then you play this. We're not fucking around. The first thing that I wanted to talk about, though, that I saw in the news that was, like, interesting enough to me was, it sounds ridiculous, but I'm actually looking forward to it. I mean, this is old news, but I'm very interested. I forgot this movie existed. Do you know about the new Dave Bautista movie that's coming out?
No.
Okay, so it's called The Killer's Game. They showed it at CinemaCon like last month, I believe.
Okay.
The film features Bautista as an assassin who thinks he's gonna die of cancer, so he orders a hit on himself. He then finds out he's not actually dying and must fight off all of Europe's hitmen.
Oh?
Quote, at Justin Wang, W-H-A-N-G, shout out to him, movies are back, ladies and gentlemen. That's something The Rock should be in. You see what I mean? This is
Yeah.
what I meant the last episode. But what do you think about that? What do you like that sound? How that movie sounds just from that description?
Talk about self-sabotage.
I know, right?
That's insane. I mean, I'm not gonna judge it. It sounds like dope.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just concerned about the setup.
Yeah, it sounds weird. It's like,
But I'm sure it'll make more sense when I
yo,
see
bro,
it.
just call your bank and tell it, yo, I don't know, I need that transaction needs to be canceled. They did show this clip when he finds out and he's at the doctor's office and he opens the results and he's like, oh my God, it's negative, and he's so happy. And then he turns around and the doctor pulls a gun out on him. And then he's like, no. I'm lying, obviously. But I swear to God, I feel like I could bet $5 that is going to happen in the fucking movie.
Probably.
He goes to see the doctor, and the doctor's like, just like I planned it. Silencer pistol in the hospital room. And he kicks the shit out of him in there.
I feel like we predict a lot of shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I inadvertently predicted Civil War. Remember the design I made?
The Civil War in 1850?
Yeah, and then like I was just like, yo, that like action figure's just like, hell yeah, Civil War, let's go. And then tell me that's his entire personality in the movie.
We're doing a civil war.
He was just like, man, these rockets are getting me hard right now. I'm just like, there's no way I just predicted this.
Man said, I need to interview the president. It's so bad.
Oh man.
Yo, my God. Oh man.
Solid flick. But
No,
that's
great.
That's for another time.
Yeah,
That's for another time.
but honestly, I'm okay. You know, I want a great movie every time, but I'm a sucker for like those 80 action movies. Like, you know, even if it was the 70s, I'm not sure. Like when Escape from New York,
Yeah.
right? You have 23 hours. What happened to 24? We lost it. Like that shit is the hardest shit ever. I'm like, yes, inject that into my brain. VR headset, but like it screws into your dome.
Shit.
Let me just see those videos.
Shit.
Any Arnold movie from the 80s where he's got like 3 rocket launchers on his pinky and he's just launching them, flipping them like nunchucks. Like you can't stop peak.
Mm-hmm.
This could be it. I'm not saying it's going to be amazing. I mean, it could be amazing for the genre that it is. Like, I'm not going in there expecting Cillian Murphy to give, like, an amazing Academy Award performance. But Batista and those new lips that he got could go insane. That's not a diss to Batista. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
Of course.
But not bad.
Not bad.
It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Enough. You know what I mean? But because you said Civil War, I do have some news related to A24 and Civil War. Basically, from what I've seen, was it Civil War? Okay, well there's one thing about Civil War, and it's that hold on as I mess this up completely, but it's okay because you know what?
Low stakes.
We not cutting it out. We leaving this in. Okay, This is what it is. So, Civil War has now surpassed Talk to Me in the box office for $100 million, coming A24's second highest grossing movie behind Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Wow.
Which made, I believe, like $140 million.
Wow.
It's the second highest grossing A24 movie ever, like I said. And, I mean, it's one of the, maybe the number one movie out right now. It's probably the best overall movie.
Yeah.
I think that's out in theaters until I see Planet of the Apes. I'm seeing that tomorrow.
I think Challengers is number one right now.
My man is in love with Challengers right now. My man saw Zendaya doing her thing and was like, yes.
Triangulation at its finest.
Absolutely. We love that.
We love triangulation. Monkey branching.
But, let me see. I just wanted to see. It was $143 million for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So there's a $44 million gap between the two. It could surpass it. It could. I'm honestly surprised. What is like your first thoughts hearing like it's that high, passing Talk to Me?
I'm not that surprised though. I'm really not that surprised. I mean, it looks like the trailer was pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's enough A24. Like, you put A24 on anything. There. I mean, but, like, that's, like, their highest, like, budget for a movie, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like more and more people are getting into it. Like, I have, like, coworkers, too, that, like, didn't really know what A24 was till, like, very recently. And, like, they're showing out consistently.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
it's definitely growing in popularity.
Yeah. I mean, the movie is doing... It's so interesting because I think Everything Everywhere All at Once was a bigger movie, but from Civil War, I think I'm seeing more people know about A24. Just in my personal experience, that doesn't mean that's the consensus. But like, if you know movies, like you do know A24, but some people know, or they might not know that A24 made them. Like you got Hereditary, Midsommar, they know all the big hits and stuff like that. But now I'm like, oh, A24, and they're like, oh yeah, Civil War. I'm like, yes, okay. Now people know. Sometimes it used to be like an extra step before that. Like, what's A24? Oh, the production, Hereditary. You ever seen that stuff like that? So I mean, shout out to them. It's a good ass movie.
We gotta
it's
start
really
gatekeeping.
Good. Yeah, we definitely have to start gatekeeping.
Yeah,
definitely.
A24 is mine.
What I don't even know what A24 is, dog. I'm in triple A24, so sorry, not if the listeners are not on that level. It's that exclusive gatekeeping right there.
Yeah, for real.
They hit me up all the time. Should we drop the trailer? No. Send it to me and let me dictate it. Every A24 trailer you've ever seen, we've signed off on them.
Hurrah. Yeah.
Just know that. At least for the last 3 years.
I don't know why the fuck I said that. I meant to say hell yeah.
My man think about Zendaya and Challenger.
You already know.
His brain went to mush. But we're going to keep the A24. There was a lot of A24 news that came out. So Godzilla and Kong, both the first one, Godzilla vs. Kong, and then the new one, Godzilla Kong, the New Empire, or whatever the fuck it is. Mm-hmm. So the director of that is returning. It says Godzilla and Kong director returning to indie action horror roots with new A24 movie.
Okay.
So he signed a deal with A24, and the guy's name is Adam Wingard. He says he's stepping away from big budget blockbusters to work on the A24 movie called Onslaught with a longtime collaborator. Like I said, it would bring the director back to his roots as an indie horror filmmaker. He's made movies. You're Next. He did. I don't know if he wrote them, but obviously he directed them.
I never saw You're Next.
Me either. But he made VHS.
No, all right. Now I'm sold.
VHS, Guest, and You're Next. Oh, and also, I mean, it wasn't a good movie, but 2016's Blair Witch.
Okay.
So there's some in there, but you could see the horror. There's a lot of horror. He did Death Note, but there's a lot there to show. Like, okay. This looks interesting.
VHS. Have you seen VHS?
I have not, but I remember that. I know the trailers of it.
Very fun. The second one is pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's probably the best one in the franchise. I stopped at Viral.
Oh, he did that one too. He did the second one also.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
There you go. But I stopped at Viral. Viral sucked.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion, Viral is awful.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
The first two, amazing.
Good.
And I think they just restarted they came out with a few new ones
recently.
Okay. Like I think 84 or something like that. I
haven't
seen it yet.
Okay.
And then a couple other ones. I'm chatting.
No, you're good. You're good.
VHS is dope. I'm sold already.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. It's apparently the movie, like I said, it's called Onslaught. The movie is dubbed a gonzo action horror thriller.
Okay.
And I know what you're thinking, John. What the fuck does gonzo mean? And don't worry, that's what I'm here for. So first I looked that up and it said pornography films, and I was like, well, I don't think he's gonna show straight up porno in this fucking movie. But it's more like very what was the term of phrase, like bizarre, unconventional, like wacky.
Okay.
So it could be more of like a mindfuck ish type of movie, horror thriller type of thing. But the action in it is what's more interesting. I feel like it just covers like 3 genres. It's so interesting, but it sounds pretty good. There's no real details about it. They're gatekeeping it.
Yeah.
So, I'm here for it. We all about the gatekeeping and shit.
This is your doing. And you're withholding information.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? So, looks interesting. Can't wait to see. It's supposed to start filming this fall. Okay. So, we'll see. A24, they keep coming with the hits, man. They got to make up that, they have to make sure fucking HBO doesn't lose all that money and shit for that big-ass deal, though. Like, what was it, $500 million or some shit? Right? So,
insane.
Crazy.
I need Iron Claw is actually going to be on Max at the end of this month, I think.
So is Dune Part 2. I saw the trailer.
Really?
The trailer for Dune Part 2 showed up while I was watching the playoffs last night, and just watching the trailer again, I was like, damn.
That's going to be on Max.
So, yeah, Max.
This month?
I believe so, end of the month.
That's insane.
If not,
to think I was going to buy
be next month. I'm still buying it, but yeah, that is dope, right?
Yeah.
It's so dope when you see a movie that's that great when you see it. Like, I feel like a movie hits when you see it in trailers for other movies. Like when Max or if Netflix or Hulu, when they're like, we have movies, and they show the movies and you see it and you're like, oh, that's the one. That's what I got when I saw that too. I was like, man.
Such a good movie. But one of the best theater experience since Endgame.
Yes, same, definitely, absolutely. I completely agree. You walk out of that, you're just like, yo, what? You can feel it in the room. Mm-hmm. But that segues right into the next thing I was gonna say, which is that apparently, when they did the filming for that, and they showed the executives at Warner Brothers, they were scared by the black and white.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, is there anything that we can do? How can we get color in this? They really didn't want it. I have some stuff here. So So they do the shoot, and we're doing like it was a bit of a bold step that we decided to shoot. This is what I believe cinematographer Greg Frazier said. It was a bit of a bold step that we decided to shoot in this format. If you don't know, they also shot in infrared, which was just amazing. It's just the little things.
Literally the hardest sequence I've ever seen in my life.
Amazing. Just so, and it's so crazy. Like you see it in the trailer, and you're like, okay, and then you watch it, and you're like, oh my god,
nothing will ever top that for me.
Amazing, hard, like insane. So it was a bit of a bold step that we decided to shoot in the format because the worry was that effectively people who were not there would watch the footage and go, what the heck is that? And so suddenly we're on phone calls going, can we fix that? Can we fix it in post? Can we add color? How do we resolve this? But we made a choice and just went, well, we made a choice. It's black and white, no color. We can't make it color. There's no way back. So we said that was the biggest, I wouldn't say challenge, but the biggest consideration that they had. It said that it left us exposed figuratively and literally where there's no way we could change this later, so they kind of just had to stick to their guns, which I think was good. It says, instincts are a funny thing because your heart says something and then your brain says something else. We shouldn't be doing this, but our hearts were like, we have to do this. And he said, I think we followed our heart and not our head, and that was definitely the right choice.
Yep.
Could you imagine that movie? Just keep the same scene. Don't change anything about how it plays out except for the color. Just put regular color. It's not the same, bro.
No, not
it
the
won't.
same.
You could just
still would have been tough.
Oh, absolutely. But it just does something.
It just adds
to the
so
atmosphere, the vibe. It's
so much.
It's amazing. It's so good. I need to watch that movie again. I really can't wait to watch that. And I mean, Denny has just proven himself as like top sci-fi director out right now.
Yeah.
And obviously, just like everybody else, cannot wait for Dune Messiah. I felt like you said Endgame, but that was the closest I feel like I could get to seeing like Star Wars in the theaters early days. You're like, yo, what was that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, crazy. So, should I get into the Rock news?
Yes.
Or say, okay, my man is here for it. So, first, I want to say that there was some news about the new. We talked about in the last podcast that UFC A24 movie. I just brought, I went back to just look up because I was interested because the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, The Rock actually posted his training clips from the UFC, and you see him, my man got a long T-shirt on. He looks like he just had, he looks like his boyfriend just left because he's just got like the one tank top on and he has no pants except for like his workout stuff, but you can't see it. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The visual, no socks, no shoes, no nothing, just in the ring, just beating this dude down, just like putting like 260 pounds on this guy on the floor with all the gear on.
Gosh.
But I mean, The Rock looks great. But because we were talking about this, it's about Mark Kerr, not Marker. Mark Kerr, a former MMA fighter and a two-time UFC heavyweight champion from like the 90s into the early 2000s, directed by Benny Safdie.
Yes.
Right. Which was also apparently the subject of a HBO documentary in 2002 called The Smashing Machine. So I think that they took certain things from that. I would love to know how involved he is. The guy, if he's alive, I don't even know if he's alive.
He is.
He is, right? Okay. So it was just interesting because I was just like, oh, okay. Now I know what it's about. It was really dope. Just like seeing how big this motherfucker was and just explaining the workouts and everything. He's saying like it's the most taxing and the most physical like training and preparation for a movie he's had to do.
Wow.
Up until this point, which makes sense because I feel like for all the other ones he was just working out and just going to the things, but now you really have to form like a physique. Like you can't. I mean, you probably could as The Rock just walk in as The Rock, peak gigantic, but there is something else to it to get in UFC shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really looking forward to that. Is that? Would you say that's one of your like most anticipated movies coming out, or like just from A24?
Not really. I don't really have any movies right now
that you're like, that's what I gotta see.
Yeah, no, not right now. Nothing that I can think of. Oh, Deadpool.
Yes, Deadpool. Absolutely.
And like, we've received very little, like clips and everything. We've only like had like speculation. Which tells me. Oh, what's up
for you for Deadpool and Wolverine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! There's so many leaks. I could
Oh, shit.
I could
Please
damn near
don't. Yeah,
I
no.
could ruin the whole movie and tell you every person that's about to be in this film.
No.
Well, not like everyone, but like I would say. Well, there are some that are absolutely 100% certified in this movie.
Oh,
The
wow.
photos leaked like months ago and stuff like that. So
Oh,
you're good.
shoot.
If you're not paying
Yeah.
attention, then you're good. But
You see, back in the day, and especially with Spider-Man, if you haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home, what are you doing?
yeah,
So I'm gonna just say it. I saw the leak from all 3 Spider-Men
yeah, we all
together and
yeah.
everything, and I was so fucking stoked. That
Yeah.
made me want to go because I'm not too crazy about Tom Holland
Yeah, I
as
feel you.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's great, and I love him as Spider-Man, but
Mhm.
not as much as I love like Tobey or Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But when I saw all 3 of them together, I went crazy.
Oh yeah, that shit was
But that was
dope as fuck.
3 years ago.
I know.
Right now, I
Yeah.
like to be surprised.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
no, I get it. I definitely used to look for the leaks. I mean, especially like peak like Endgame, Infinity War.
Oh, of
Like,
course.
I wanted to know. I didn't want the movie ruined for me, but I'm like, the hype is just so real. You like couldn't help
yeah.
it. If someone sent you a text message and they were like, "This is the actual ending to Endgame. Here's the link." Back then, I would have been like, "Oh man, I don't think I can resist clicking this." Like, they're like,
Yeah.
that's just me. I don't want it ruined, but I'm like, damn, I really want to know. And then,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing about Marvel is they'll show these set photos, and then those things aren't even in the movie.
Right.
They've done that plenty of times. Like there was photos of Captain America and Endgame in the Battle of New York and fighting, and then you never see that. Like out on the battlefield, that didn't happen at all. You know what I mean? Like helmet off and everything.
Yeah, like I noticed that when Marvel doesn't release much, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting with this movie.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited.
Well, I think this could be the turning point for them.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they're headed one direction, which hasn't. Hey, shout out to Harry, dog, who's also in fucking the Marvel movies now, which is
Yeah.
crazy. They were really veering towards like this is not gonna go well,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like this is like that fork in the road. Like okay, from here on, this can help determine and like sway public opinion a little bit. Like okay, they can make a good movie. This is what we want, and they did hear the fans. It's rated R, so that's good.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw this today actually. That Marvel, forgot who that head guy, whatever, not Kevin Feige, someone else.
Bob Iger, the Disney guy.
Yes, Bob Iger. He said that Marvel is only to release 3 movies.
Yeah.
And then 2 television series, and I think that's really good
Yeah.
because it just got so hard to keep up with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
One movie every 4 months, like that's perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah. The shows, whatever. I hate sometimes that you got to go into the movie like, and you have to watch some of the shows. As long as they're good, that's the only thing. Is that they put out so many shows for me that I just don't like. But still, that's probably the only movie I'm really hyped for. Planet of the Apes was the other one for me.
yeah, I still gotta watch those.
Yeah, my boy's slacking. Maybe we'll cover them on the pod at some point. I mean, that would have been perfect, but we're not trying to rush into things. So we'll get to those eventually.
That comes out this week, right?
Literally tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow. I'm seeing it tomorrow. So
Damn, I missed the Fall Guy in IMAX.
Oh,
Because they're not
yeah.
playing it in IMAX near us after that, so
oh damn.
which is fine.
Yeah. But let's get into the main news of the day. We talked about it in the last episode. So if people don't know, The Rock is in this new movie. I already forgot what the fuck it's called. Amazon Prime. It doesn't matter. With Chris Evans, basically the whole premise is that Santa Claus, played by J.K. Simmons, goes fucking missing, and they need The Rock, the extraordinary force or whatever he's called, who's like, I guess, like a bodyguard or like the John Wick of elves. And he teams up with Chris Evans, who's like the world's greatest detective, so think Knives Out, and they're trying to find fucking Santa Claus. So the budget was $200 million, but then it came out that it went up to $50 million because The Rock has reportedly been habitually late. 5 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours late to set all the time. People having to work around him. It's causing issues on set. And this also ended up bringing out past information of him doing the same thing on Fast and Furious sets, which is probably one of the main big reasons, aside from just ego and brain, from his issues with Vin Diesel and that whole, rivalry and conflict that they have. But that it also led to conflicts with him and Ryan Reynolds on the movie Red Notice, Netflix's best thing of all time. Of course, don't look it up. Please don't look up the reviews because they don't want you to know that. Yeah. So apparently he got into an argument, like a shouting match with Ryan Reynolds, and they stopped being friends for years until recently. So we talked about this, the habitual late, but now it comes out. Well, Martin knew, Casman knew, but I didn't know this. Is that apparently Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Some of the reasons why he was late is because he would work out, there on set or whatever around things, and go on his own schedule. But I mean, this man will work out for 2 to 3 hours, and then apparently because he's saying I'm drinking so much water and stuff, and he's constantly working out, that this man has to piss. He has to take a whiz, maybe like 6 times within like a few hours. And apparently, especially at the gym and stuff, there's no bathroom. And I guess for some reason, maybe there's no bathroom on set, or he doesn't want to have to walk all the way over there. But this man has reportedly peed in Voss water bottles on film sets. Pissing in these water bottles, straight up, and then giving them to like PAs and stuff to have to throw out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the whole PA shit.
So could you imagine you're on set, and you're like, oh my God, Rock, what's going on? What's going on, kid? How are you doing? Yeah, you're doing good? All right, hey, take this piss bottle from me. Throw that out real quick. It's fucking nuts. So I just want to get your reaction to that, even though I know you knew about it before me. But
well, I know about the PA shit.
Yeah, but
all I saw was him pissing in bottles. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck,
my man's
dog?
treating it like he's on an 8-hour drive and he can't stop.
Yeah.
Or he's out at camp and he's like shy to piss in the woods or something like that. Oh, but no, apparently because there is public. That's the thing. There are public bathrooms and there's like porta potties and stuff like that, and he refused to use them. So he's just pissing. And I will say, his team and all these people and the agencies and stuff are saying like these are false claims, that this isn't that didn't really happen, that all of this is like false information and stuff like that. But I'm sorry, man. I'm only gonna know you as the piss bottle guy. You're pissing in bottles, dog.
Yeah.
Every time I watch him in WWE drink a water and pour it over his head, I'm like, hey, that could be piss.
Yeah.
Could be piss. Piss is clear.
Or he's emptying out the bottle so he can piss in it.
Yeah. Either way, pee is clear, dog.
Yep.
Pee is clear. If your piss is yellow, you probably figure, check your diet out, dog. The Rock is maybe. You know what? Maybe The Rock. Okay, bear with me here.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
He's
We're getting deep into
cooking.
Okay, this is from now on. This segment will be the cooking segment because I'm cooking up something in my brain. We have 2 segments now. We have news and cooking. So for today's cooking segment, The Rock, a millionaire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Been the public zeitgeist for 20 years. Man's been around. He's in great shape. Body, wild. Someone here is like, yes, body's crazy, and we love you for having that opinion. What if all these stars going, they getting core BBL surgeries, men and women, it doesn't matter what it is. What if The Rock has a system, or maybe his body is just that improved because he's richer than all of us peons, that his body can filter water, it can filter his piss back into water. So he drinks the water, it goes through his body, takes all the nutrients, it takes all the piss, and he's able to release straight water out of his dick into the Voss water bottles, and he's not actually throwing them away. He's just drinking, and it turns out that The Rock is the best environmentalist on the planet because he never reuses plastic water bottles.
Makes sense.
Cooking. Cooking.
Let's go.
Cooking. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Or he has a fucking Brita filter in his dick. It's right on the shaft. And he's just pissing clean water.
No. No.
He's like, porta potty, those are dirty. My piss is cleaner than the air in that porta potty. Hey, let me get that water bottle back. Let me get a swig.
He gave him to the PA so they could drink them.
So I wanted to say also, that's the end of cooking. That's cooking. Thank you. Sponsored by...
Dinner is served.
Yeah, sponsored by Dinner Served, our TV dinner,
Hell yeah.
line that's coming out 7 years.
Yeah.
We'll be at every AMC theater with a Voss water bottle included as part of the meal. Interesting choice, though, the Voss. Not a smart water. Probably been a little smarter.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wanted to rank really quick levels of okayness for pissing into a water bottle. So I would say, in reality, I would put Voss third. It's like too bougie. You can tell me if you disagree or not. I would say at the bottom is Aquafina.
Mm-hmm.
After that, what's another really bad water bottle? Those Nestle water bottles.
Yeah.
Nestle water bottles.
Below that is like Great Value water.
Yeah, I would say in the same line.
Yeah.
Right? Is Aquafina the one I'm thinking about? The one with the blue?
Yeah, Aquafina. That should have salt in it.
Yeah, I think that's the one. So that
electrolytes with.
So let's say like Aquafina. Next episode, I'll change the list. I'll have it solidified. But right now, in the moment, Aquafina, Nestle / Dollar Value. Then you got Voss third. This is out of 5 or 6. And then I'd put Poland Spring above it.
Yeah.
Because that's the everyman's water bottle. You know what I mean? 5, Smart Water. It's smart. It's good. The bottles are big, but hard to piss through the top unless you can get the cap off. You should not have the blue cap on it. You got to take the whole thing off, then you can piss in there. I mean, Voss just makes sense if you're one of them wide boys.
Yeah.
You need a bigger one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then number 1 is Fiji. I mean, of course. It's Fiji. Fiji's the best. You can't. Fiji's just so good. It's like you drink that and you're like,
That's a once in a blue moon kind of water.
Yeah, that's when you're like, just got my tax return. I'm a get.
I remember the last time I drank Fiji water.
That's how good it is.
Yeah.
You don't forget when you have that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is like, yo, can I get a water? And they hand you a Fiji. Like, I'm with a big baller today. Is this the Weekend's house? Am I hanging out with Abel? What's going on? Oh, man. Just so good. The list, though. You agree?
No, yeah.
Anything you would change around?
Nah.
No?
Perfect. Solid.
Fiji, Smart Water. What was the other one? Poland Spring, Voss, Nestle, Aquafina. Solid. That's one of those lists you could put on the internet, and they're like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
No downvotes. Absolutely. So before we get into Nightcrawler, because I'm having fun, we're going as long as we possibly want. Fuck it.
Oh, yeah.
On this one, fuck it. But there's a movie that's out, and I just wanted to go over some of these reviews from some insightful people. But first, I'm going to give you a little background about what the movie is.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know about this, but Jerry Seinfeld has a new movie out.
Okay.
And I believe it's a Netflix movie. It's got Jerry Seinfeld. It's got Hugh Grant. It's got Melissa McCarthy. You got Amy Schumer. You got Jim Gaffigan.
You lost me at Amy Schumer.
Bill Burr, a real comedian. James Marsden. You got Dan Levy playing Andy Warhol. John Hamm. Holy shit, there are names. Andy Daly, Jack McBrayer, Peter Dinklage, Max Greenfield. What the fuck? Mikey Day. There's a lot of names. Bobby Moynihan, Dean Norris, Hank from Breaking Bad. The man himself. Fred Armisen. It doesn't end. Ronnie Chang. How long is this goddamn cast list? Kyle Mooney, Beck Bennett. Holy shit, this movie must be 3 hours long. It's called Unfrosted.
Oh.
And it's a comedy/drama. In 1963, Kellogg's and Post, sworn cereal rivals, raced to create a pastry that will change the face of breakfast forever. And this man basically, I'm pretty sure, makes fucking Pop-Tarts. It's apparently so dog shit. It's apparently so bad. People are clowning him, especially because he recently had like a whole interview and everything saying about how, you know, the left and people and like babies are not like infants, but like people being maybe babies too. Who knows? Maybe baby. Fuck it. Are like ruining comedy, and they're like, you know, they want things canceled, and you can't have all these things in there because you can't offend anybody. Oh my god, what's the deal with offensive jokes? I mean, am I right? So he said all this, and apparently the movie is so not funny that people are just clowning him. So I wanted to go over some reviews with you, if you thought that would be okay. I would just want to get your opinion. Okay, so I want your opinion on the review itself, and then then you could say like, you know, comment on it towards the movie. So like, okay, that's a good roast of a whatever. Oh, that's a good review. I like that, you know? And then you get into it. Dealer's choice, whichever you want. So this is on Letterboxd, sponsored by Letterboxd. Just kidding, we're not. Please don't sue us. Holy shit. By Satan of the Dead, 1 star. Jerry Seinfeld actually made a list of his 17 favorite Kellogg cereals in promotion for this film. Google Jerry Seinfeld 17 to find out where Applejack's placed. And if you type in Jerry Seinfeld 17, you'll find out about his wife. That's a grade A comment for me.
That's insane.
That was so masterfully put. It's so good. That's so... Oh, man, he cooked with that one.
Yes.
Sponsored by the cooking segment. So, A?
A.
Give that an A. Okay.
Yeah, easy A.
I think... Hey, shout out to Easy A. 5 stars, Unfrosted by Vera Drew, one of the most perverted films I've ever seen. The Right Stuff parody fair used boomer fetish art, the cinematic equivalent of a sociopath. Sarah Cooper and a cereal mascot January 6th sequence. Grandma's holes, fruity, goopy, fetishy marshmallow fluff. What's the first thing a baby tastes? Applesauce. Milk. Watching Jerry lip sync the end credits song by Jimmy Fallon and Meghan Trainor is like staring into Azathoth. Honestly, the movie makes me want to see it. The cinematic equivalent of a sociopath. And this is one sentence again. Grandma's holes, fruity, goopy, fetishy, marshmallow fluff. Quote, what's the first thing a baby tastes? Applesauce, milk. Spit on bars. Yo, Kendrick, get this man on a track, please. So what do you grade that? Better than the one before?
No, that first one was good.
Jerry Seinfeld 17 is just...
I feel like that's going to be untouched. That's
too good.
That's my prediction.
So goddamn funny. 1 star by Dave. I'm in the 15 to 65 age bracket, so it wasn't for me. We have 2.5 stars by Matt, a cameo in this, technically a pair of cameos in a single scene. It broke my brain. I'm still processing it. I thought I entered a fugue state or something. Seeing is not even believing in this case. I saw it and I still don't believe it. Pretty good.
So that top comment though for me.
By None for Hire. This, starting with Jerry Seinfeld making increasingly weird and uncomfortable advances on a child, is a very fitting way to start his directorial debut. 1.5 stars by FTRT Glenn with 2 N's. Absolutely no way there's a January 6th joke in this movie. How? Not bad, right?
No way.
Did that make you want to see the movie more or less?
More.
Right? That's what I'm saying. It looks so bad, but I'm so interested. God, Jerry Seinfeld 17. That should be his production company. The only way to scrub that off the internet, dog. So good.
Oh, man.
And it's even funnier because it's like the list is always like top 5, top 10.
Yeah.
Maybe a top 20, 15. Now he's like, 17. That's so good, dog. Oh, man. Good. That's the end of the... cooking sponsored segment.
Yep.
We're killing today.
I know.
We're feeling good.
Going crazy.
This is different.
Going crazy.
Marty Scorsese might text me again. Who knows, bro?
Yeah, I
so
fucks with you extra heavy.
Oh, really quick before we get into night crawling. Did you see the picture of the new Superman fit?
Yes.
What do you think?
The more I looked at it, the more I loved it.
I think the S is weird. The S it looks weird to me. But I don't hate it. It looks good. Mm-hmm. I think I didn't know how big he was gonna look. That was one thing I was curious because yes, Henry Cavill looks crazy, but Superman doesn't look like he's big, but like that he looked like he was wearing a bodysuit on an already ripped body. So he doesn't look like huge, which I think looks good. He does have the underwear though. Mm-hmm. Absolutely here for it. I love it. Without the underwear, it literally looked like the man was almost naked in a fit. For me personally. But you like it.
No, I love it.
Right? It looks good.
I'm really stoked for it.
Very interested. Next year, I think it comes out?
Yeah, July next year.
Okay. Hey, I'm here for it. And I believe it's potential, like, his mom might have made the suit for him, which is kind of dope.
Okay.
And from what I read from, like, the description, it's supposed to, like, really hammer down on, like, Superman being a good person and upholding certain values that, like, might not be present today And reading that description of it, I was like, okay, I like it. Because Superman, we've talked about this, has never been done right, in my opinion. They never get him right in terms of the attitude and the values and the way the actions that he does and certain things like that. Like you see Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel. That man barely saves anybody.
Yeah.
He killed more people than he saves.
He did.
He snapped a man's neck. Yes, he saved the family, but like quid pro quo, they kind of cancel each other out, and the death is way more substantial. So like whatever. But he out here murdering, killing. That man killed hundreds of people actually flying through those buildings.
Zack face fucking Snyder.
Yeah, the man himself. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I forgot. Excuse me, I forgot. And it looks good. The background image with the thing in the sky, I'm thinking like maybe that's Brainiac or the villain or something. It looks like a moment of contemplation.
Yeah. Like
he gets beat, he gets his ass kicked. You know, Green Lantern's in it. Green Lantern and Hawkgirl are in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh man, the dude from that show Firefly, I can't remember his name. David Boreanaz. David Boreanaz is Green Lantern. And he's older, so it looks like Green Lantern. I think it's going to be in a world where superheroes already exist.
Okay.
Like, maybe there could be allusions to a Batman or a Wonder Woman, but there's Green Lantern is there. There's other people there. I'm guessing they already have their powers. Like, Hawkgirl is already there. She can fly and do a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that's when, like, he gets his ass kicked and he's contemplating. He's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to be Superman. And then he goes and he beats the guy after. Yeah, typical hero stuff, but I'm here for it.
Superman Legacy, directed by James Gunn.
I'm going to have to be Superman 4, A Quest for Hope, or whatever the fucking shit is. But yeah, so now we're going to get into the, what do we call this? The movie of the week?
Movie of the week.
Placeholder, movie of the week. Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal. So I feel like I've been chatting a lot. I'm going to toss this over to you. What's the movie about, Martin?
What's the movie about?
Yes, sir.
It's about this sociopath trying to make money.
Mm-hmm.
He discovers that he can make money filming some gruesome shit and selling it to the news.
Yeah.
And it just spirals for everyone else.
Yeah.
Except for him.
Yeah. That man's living a good life.
Yeah.
Honestly. This is one of my, I feel like, most slept on movies.
Yeah.
It's, what year did this movie came out?
2014.
2014, yes, that's right. Directed by, if I have this correctly, you would think I would have this set already, but you know what? We don't play like that. Dan Gilroy came out in 2014, like we said. He's done a lot of things. He's most known for Nightcrawler. He wrote on Andor, which is pretty good. Doesn't have a lot of stuff. Oh, he worked on Kong Skull Island, which is good. He worked on Born Legacy, which is all right. Chasers. He worked on Chasers, which is funny as fuck. But great movie. So first we're going to do non-spoilery. That's not going to last long. And then we're going to get into more spoilers. Stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Rene Russo, Bill Paxton, Riz Ahmed, Michael Papa John is his last name, which is hilarious. Marco Rodriguez. There's, it's not a big budget movie. It's a calm movie. But I just want to get your initial opinion. I'd already seen the movie when we watched it together last week. That was my third time viewing the movie in a couple of years. That was your first time seeing the movie.
Yep.
So what are your first thoughts on the movie?
Very dope. And that's like, it's not an indie film, right?
No, I don't believe so.
Felt like an indie film.
Yeah, definitely.
But like it was very dope. I guess I like the remember that new scene? I mean, I don't know if it's like spoiler territory.
Which one?
So the scene where like he's submits the footage and like you see it happening live.
Oh yes.
And like the manager and everything's talking to the news anchors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you even said it before, like nothing's going on really, but it's just so engaging.
Yeah, it's not like Succession, but Succession I feel like did that for me, where like people are talking about things like they're so out of the realm of what you would ever worry about, but in that job, like in that sector, in that character's life, in that moment, like the way that they're able to add tension and make you care about something that if it was another movie or show and it wasn't handled right, you would not care.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, okay, it's a problem, whatever. But you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the scene you're talking about is when he films a crime scene, and they're putting it on the news and they're airing it live, and you get like the behind the scenes of like news anchors and stuff like that, and you have the manager at the station feeding to the anchors like what to say and how to react, and you just see him. Jake Gyllenhaal, the main character, he plays a guy. His name is
I'd say
Lou.
this is his best performance
Louis
that I've
Bloom.
seen him in.
Oh yeah. I think it's that and Prisoners.
Yes.
And like I told you, the whole thing with Prisoners is so good. If you've never seen that, the way that he got the twitch and everything, like the improv on that, is so good. But this to me is the one.
Mm-hmm.
This is his best role. If he wasn't nominated, I think he should have been.
Yeah, I don't know if he got nominated or not.
Like amazing. And like you touched on it, I'm just gonna go over it again. Jake Gyllenhaal plays a character called Louis Bloom. Apparently based off of, he was inspired by an actual Nightcrawler,
Really?
quote unquote, who didn't do all the messed up stuff that he did. But there's this whole story where the guy's name I can't remember. He was there was some pretty bad accident on a highway and it got crazy, and the man was trying to record and stuff. But the traffic was nuts, and there was another car coming, and like they hit into someone. He's trying to he got out of his car and he tried to direct traffic and actually help the people involved.
Wow.
So we got like really into it because he was going there to film and all this stuff. He was like a reputable journalist. He's not the character that they show in this movie, someone that's trying to use it to his advantage to make money and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, inspired by a real guy.
Wow.
Which was crazy, off of this one night experience that kind of started, the inspiration for this, I guess. And this guy is a con man, basically. You get that right from the beginning of the movie, where he goes to try to steal like copper wire and stuff like that and pipes and stuff, and he comes across this security dude, and he ends up trying to you see the sociopathic way of speaking, and like the way his brain just starts moving and the gears start turning, and how he talks to people. Like you see him steal a watch, and it's like kind of shows like, okay, this guy, he doesn't have it going for him. You see like his apartment is small, his car is old, like it's not great.
Doesn't even blink, man.
I know, it's insane. And he so basically he's trying to find work. The way he talks to this guy, he sounds like he's trying to convince you that what he's saying is true, even though he knows it's fake.
Right.
And you could kind of tell. But he ends up coming across a accident, I believe. A shooting.
Mm-hmm.
An accident or a shooting with this one guy, and he sees the guys filming it, and he tries to get some information, and he hears that, you can get money off of this. So he's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go buy a camera. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to start filming as an independent journalist, basically record, like, videographer. And he goes to these different crime scenes, and he films them. But the thing about this guy is all these people, there's heavy competition, and they're trying to get the best shot, which then results in people doing things that they really should not do in order to get these. And it's this whole story of him basically trying to come from the ground up and do this.
Yeah.
But it's someone that you just cannot like.
No.
At all. Like, probably one of the hardest main characters to like in a movie.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think it also is like the perfect run. I think that movie is honestly, it could be perfect.
Yeah.
Especially for what it's going for.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't stay longer than it's supposed to. It doesn't end on like, we got us comeuppance or anything like that. It's just solid all the way through. What did you think about I just want to get your perspective on like the interactions that he has with the other people, like the other characters and stuff like that. Anything that you can go off of.
As a student of human behavior myself.
Okay, the body keeps the score, we all know.
Nah, it's crazy how he can manipulate people and whatnot. And you could tell with his partner, he was a little iffy about him.
Yeah.
But like, he was just so like down bad.
Yeah.
Like financially.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That he's like, all right, like I might as well just take the chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he took advantage of that.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal's character.
Yeah. He's talking about Riz Ahmed, who plays Rick, who becomes like his sidekick, his assistant.
Vice president.
Keep going though.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, just the way he had that little bit of a charm to him.
Yeah.
And whatnot. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, a touch of like being psychotic. Intimidation,
yeah,
and also had a charm to him to where, like,
Yeah.
He would get his way.
He looked
all the
like a
time.
kid in high school that wore fedoras that like fell into like red pill
Yes.
stuff online,
Yes.
but then was like, okay, I need to do something.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't just get caught up with women. He was like, no, I need to fix this towards money.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he doesn't say anything sexist or racist or like any shit like that, but you could tell he's just like very selfish, very self-centered,
Right.
very narcissistic, very much just trying to do whatever he can to get one over on the other person. It could have been any job that he saw that night. It could have been a fucking gangbanger, and he was like, oh, $50 million? I gotta fucking do it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what he would do. He even talks, like, the way that he's able to talk fast. Like, you meet these people. You've come across them once in your life.
Yes.
There's a great scene that shows it perfectly is when he goes to the pawn shop after he steals the guy's bike. That a guy just left there. Ultimate opportunist. Oh, and I love the way that I feel like when he has to lock in and he's going to do something that he's like, okay, this is the next step. He puts his hair in a bun. Love that. If that was improv or what, that it's just perfect. And the hair in the bun almost adds to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this guy leaves his bike unlocked and he goes and he steals it and he's in the pawn shop. And he's like, this is a high grade bike. This is a bike that can help you do anything that you want. It helped me run the marathon. I finished 5 marathons in this bike. This is what you want. It has 7 gears. It does this. It does this. Blah, 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 blah. And the other person is like, oh, my God. What the fuck? Just going. That's the type of person that you're dealing with. So, obviously, he starts abusing what he can do. He's trying to do whatever he can. Everything is ethically, morally gray as hell. Some of the stuff probably is illegal that he's doing, but some of it, it's just not. It's just more about the ethics. And it's so fascinating to see because there's definitely people like this. The things that they're willing to do, especially in high competitive markets that are like independent like that. You're freelance. You're on your own. You got to get the shot. It's like TMZ. They're in there, like, you know what I mean? And they'll sneak into your fucking chimney. They can get a shot of your butthole or something.
Yeah.
Like goats. Like, they'll do it. You know what I mean? And he really played it well. Let's, I feel like because this is a longer movie, older movie, we can just get into spoilers.
Yeah.
Right away. So we'll just get into it. So there's a few moments that really stood out to me. I want to know if you already said this. Did I already say? What's your favorite scene or moment that happens in the movie?
My favorite scene, probably like the news.
The one you talked about before.
Yes.
Okay.
And then that date that he had with that manager.
Oh my God, that was wild.
That was very wild.
Yeah, that was just tense also, but that had like the most amount of uncomfortability in that entire movie, which is crazy because this is not a moment where there's dead bodies and he's breaking into things and he's doing something. He is doing something fucked up, but basically he meets the manager at this news station at the night shift. Basically, he's giving these videos to that he's filming that pays him and everything, and he's attracted to her and he wants to be with her, and he basically wants to force her into like a friends with benefits relationship or a one-sided relationship where he gets everything that he wants and that's it, and he doesn't see it as that, which also it's those little moments where you get more insight into his narcissism and personality and sociopathic like feelings and everything, because he doesn't look at it as a one-way thing. He's like, no, this is mutually beneficial for both sides. We both get to whatever. You get to do this, you get your thing, I get my money, and I get to have a partner. And she's like, dude, no. Like, what the fuck? No. And even she's like, do you not know how people are? And that's what's so interesting is I'm glad that they don't, but you really get a sense, personally, that his background, he never dealt with other people.
Right.
Like, as a kid, probably didn't have many friends, or, you know, maybe just used friends. He probably didn't look at friends as friends, you know what I mean? Unless it was something that he got in return. Transactionary relationships throughout his life. But you really don't get any sense of his background or what he's dealt with or how he's come up or anything like that, which I think adds to it. But you get little insight. He's like, oh, I look everything up on the internet. This guy, dog. You know what I mean? He sounds like an incel. He sounds like the king of incels.
He is an incel.
But just those two scenes?
Those two scenes. Him going into the house, the mansion after the drug deal.
Do you want to give insight into the scene? Or do you want me to recap it?
Just recap, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So, great. Oh my God, what a great scene. So, obviously, like I said, he's doing different things that become morally gray in order to get these shots. So, he ends up getting the dude Rick that I told you about, his partner in crime, who's really not into this. But they hear on the police scanner that there's potential armed robbery going on in a house. And so they drive over there, and they get there before the cops do. So this man decides, all right, fuck it, I'm going into the house. He has his man stay in the car, and he goes. And also, just want to say, like, the man got a little bit of bread and automatically started splurging. Bought a fucking charger, bought the watch, bought the clothes, bought better cameras and stuff. So he goes up to the house, has a long driveway, and he's sitting there, and he hears the gunshots. And I'm pretty sure you can see the muzzle flash.
Yeah.
Like, just the white. You don't see them shoot, but you could see and hear the shots, basically. And he's hiding in a bush, and then the dudes come out, and he sees them. They get into a big SUV, they leave, and he goes into the fucking house, and it's basically a triple murder in the house, what turns out to be potentially a drug deal gone wrong. And he goes in, and he just starts filming everything. The dead bodies. Again, the police haven't got there yet. So he's just tampering, potentially. He's going in, and he's filming all the bodies and everything, all the dead people. And then at one point, he walks past a body, and there's a guy that's alive. And this man does not give a shit. Locked in mode. Only cares about his job. Yep. Film. He's filming everything. He even films the guy that's on his face, like face down, still breathing. He makes a sound, and you know he's alive. And there's no way that this dude didn't know he was alive. Jake Gyllenhaal definitely knew he was alive. And he just steps over him and continues. You see, like, it's brutal. This woman killed with, like, a shotgun. Another woman dead on a bed. There's, like, allusions to, like, a baby, but there's no dead kid or anything like that. Thank fucking God.
Yeah.
But then he takes that, and then he goes to the film studio to sell the fucking footage of, like, the most gruesome thing. And that's what Martin Kazma was talking about when he said that scene when she's, like, relaying to the news anchors what to say and all this stuff like that. That's such a great scene.
Oh, yeah.
I really love in that scene, my favorite part of that scene when he's talking, when they're doing the thing, directing the news anchors and stuff, is when he tells them, make sure that they know that it's videographic news. And like, he doesn't care about anything. He wants his name on there, and he wants his company on there. Whatever he can do to get more money, that's what he wants. Fantastic. Such a good scene. Yeah.
And you know how he was like walking away saying like, oh, I got a better offer somewhere else?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Not at all. He knows what to do. He read all those like business self-help type of books, and he's just downloaded them onto his brain and whatever he got off the internet, and he's like, okay, this is how I leverage people in a situation. Every situation is like a business meeting with him. Nothing is like a normal standard human interaction. Everything is, how can I leverage someone, and how can I get what I want out of this? Amazing. I would imagine they did like research for it, because it really seems like it, and it really shows in there. In terms of my favorite scene, that's a tough one. Damn, that movie is so good. Damn, what was the crime? Okay, mine is probably the one where he goes into a house. There were shots fired into a house. I don't remember. I think somebody might have gotten hit. I don't know if they were killed. But he's trying to get in, and he's trying to get these shots, and the man goes into the house of a crime scene where bullets were launched into, and he peers in, and he points the camera through like a window with bullet holes that has like the family of the people that were like at the attack and the cop and everything like that. And this man does not care.
No.
Anything for the shot. Whew, that's that boss.
Oh yeah.
Anything for the shot. It was just so good. And again, the tension through it. Also, the movie's kind of funny.
Yes.
It has some really funny parts to this.
Yeah.
I can't remember that one joke that he said that like sent me. But you know what I'm talking about?
Did you watch this again recently, or?
No, I wasn't able to watch it the second time.
I think it was, they were like they were in the studio, right? And they were like trying to decide, all right, should we air this? Should we not? Whatnot?
Yeah.
And then someone else that we haven't met comes in. And then I guess the manager introduces him. Yeah. And then he's just like, oh, hi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Yes, that's it. Hi. Yes. That's good, yeah.
Unfazed.
Like, man, it even gives, like, psycho humor.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my... Like, American Psycho, like, when he's like, I'll kill you, bitch.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, my God, that was hilarious. But this dude is off one. Like, God, that's so good. damn, second favorite scene. I think the best part of the movie for me is that, so he's getting into this business and he's doing what he can and he's leveraging situations. He's trying to get as much money as possible. And he ends up coming across another Nightcrawler. And he's like, hey, buddy, like, he talked to him originally, and that's how he found out about the money that you can make off of this. And, like, that's what exposed him to this career. And, well, no, I think it was the second guy he met when he tried to go film something, and he was late, and the guy, like, makes some comment about his camera.
Yeah.
And so the dude confronts him, and he's like, hey, man, I got this idea. You come work with me. Well, he says come work for me. But he's like, we can make it a partnership, and I get a van, you get a van, we get our own cameras, and we can cover more ground in shorter amount of time, and we can get more money, and eventually we can get more vans and more things to have more people under you. And Jake Gyllenhaal's like, I said no. And what I really want to do, what did he say? I really just want to punch you in the fucking face.
Like pull your ear or something.
Yeah, he's like, I really want to pull your ear or pull your face or do something and just like go off on him. And so the dude ends up doing the plan without him, so he misses a couple things. So there's this shot where you see him. I thought he was like on the floor or doing something, but you see him on the floor and he's like moving around and he does something, and then it transitions into the next scene at night, and there's a police report and they go after it. You don't really know what's going on, and then it turns out it's a car accident, and you're like, oh shit, okay. And then you look and you realize, oh shit, it's the van of that other guy, and this motherfucker is under the ground. He's on the ground, but he's not in his apartment. He's under the dude's car, like finessing his brakes.
Yep.
And the dude gets into a goddamn car accident and he's bleeding, and this man is standing over him with the camera looking at him like, that's right. And you could see the look of shock and realization on that dude's face. He's like, what the fuck? Terrified.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he never even said anything to the cops about the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would have been the first thing I did. Yo, this dude, I do not trust him. And the way he looked at me and the way he was there, I don't trust that at all. But man, finesse this dude and then profits off of the pain that he causes, man. Crazy as shit. Crazy as shit. Which then brings me to the end of the movie. Obviously, the dude has done all these different things, and it's very surprising he doesn't slip up. And the cops started asking him questions, like detectives and shit like that. What do you think about the end?
I thought it was dope. He had the cops beat.
Absolutely.
And they knew that he was withholding information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He had the footage of those guys going into the van after that
yes.
shooting the mansion.
That's right.
And they know about it, but they have no proof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he got out scot-free.
Yeah.
Expanded on his business.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was a perfect ending.
He won. In the end, he wins. And what he's alluding to is, so that footage where they killed the people in the house, obviously he has the visual, like the faces of the people and even the license plate of the car and everything like that. But when the detectives come, because they know he has the footage because they aired it on the news that night, they go and they question him and he makes them a copy. But you watch him on the computer edit out and delete, well, then save separately the clip in what he recorded of the people's faces, and he hides that and he doesn't do anything, to go after them. Turns out this psycho just wants more footage, and he wants to lock down the guys and find them himself, and then film what happens. So it turns out to be these two Spanish guys, I believe. He finds them, and then he brings his partner, who is now brand new vice president because they're making money, and he promotes this guy who was an intern, basically. It was only the two of them, and they go to this like diner area, and they find the guys there, or it's like a donut shop, whatever, and he calls the cops. Very, very shady, and he just tells them, I think the people that were from that murder, blah, 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 they're here, and I think they're armed. So the cops show up, and he tells his boy, go record it, and I'll record from over here. So 2 cops show up, then 3 cops show up, and then 5 cops show up. And then there's a whole shootout in the middle of this fucking establishment. One of the dudes dies, one of the cops gets hit, I think 2 cops get shot. One of them might be down, like dead, definitely needs like emergency care, and the other dude runs and he goes away. So this psycho has his friend come back, and they're like, "Come on, we gotta go Nightcrawler." So they whip off, and this man is chasing this dude down, that's being chased by the cops. So it's like the murderer, a cop car, and then Nightcrawlers, and they're chasing this dude down. I think they even had a helicopter. And they're chasing this dude down, and he's like evading crazy traffic and all of this stuff. And
because cameramen never die.
Yeah, exactly. And his boy is like, dude, you gotta chill out. And he was already like, I'm not trying to do all this. And then there's a huge accident. One cop car gets flipped and he's fucked up. Then another cop car comes. There's another crazy accident, I think, with the civilian. They get out. They pull over. They go to film it. And they're like, you know, Jake Gyllenhaal's like, oh, he's dead. He's dead. You're good. And he has the other guy come to get a shot. And turns out the fucking dude was not dead. Pulls out a gun and he shoots his partner dead. The dude gets up, gets out the car, and what did you think about this? That moment where the dude, that got the murderer, he gets out of the car, the drug dealer guy, and he sees Jake Gyllenhaal filming him. And he definitely saw him before when he first approached the truck. And they have like this moment. I want to get like your insight on that. Like, what'd you think of that?
I thought that was pretty dope. And then the cops arrived just on time, right?
Yeah, like
in the nick of time.
Like,
so.
well, like no. You're saying like to save Jake Gyllenhaal?
Not to save Jake Gyllenhaal, but like,
just in general, like, just
by coincidence, they just show up on time.
Like 10 seconds later.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, had there been a bit more time, he would have shot Jake Gyllenhaal down.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's a camera on him.
Okay, because this is what I thought. I thought that guy saw him when he first showed up. When Jake Gyllenhaal first walks up to the car and it's all fucked up, and he tells him that the dude is dead. Obviously, that guy is like adrenaline, all types of stuff, and he's also a dickhead because he's just killing people, shooting motherfuckers. I think that he has that moment when he gets out of the car. It was almost like related, or almost like a understanding, like they're on the same page. Because he looks dead at him. He still has bullets in his gun. He looks right at him, turns away, starts walking away. Then the cops show up. And the cops come out, pull their guns out, and he just starts trying to shoot him, and they light the dude up and kill him. I felt like there was a sort of understanding. There was a certain level that they were on where I feel like he was like, I feel like that would have been the worst version of like Jake Gyllenhaal. Like someone who's just about it, just does what he wants, doesn't give a fuck. And there was like that mutual understanding. He's like, all right, fuck it, whatever. This dude, he knew this dude is a piece of shit. Yeah. Like he's out here filming this and he's like, whatever, not worth it. Like, okay, I got you. Goes, does his own thing and then dies. And then he films his partner dying on the camera, which was crazy. If you think when he films the other Nightcrawler is wild, the same fucking thing. I mean, it's kind of bullshit. He got shot in the heart and he talked for like 5 minutes, but whatever. But damn, that was amazing. You could tell
so
too.
Good.
Like when he's walking over, you just say when he's like he's dead and they don't show it, you're like,
yeah,
no, do not trust this man. What are you doing? Stop. And he was a smart dude. What I couldn't remember the movie and what I thought was gonna happen was that he left him and he went to go work with the other guy. That's what I thought. I think I just conjured that up. I was like, okay, so I like how they didn't do that. You know, it wasn't like, the whole competition with him and this guy. It was just more about him, which I think added to it. I think if you would have had that dynamic, it could have ruined the movie. You know what I mean?
It's crazy that not only did he discover that craft, but he manipulated situations just so he can get money.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Wild.
That's what it is at its root. Like he's literally manipulating crimes.
This is why we need
money.
This is why we need gatekeepers, dog.
Yeah.
Imagine they didn't have. If that was on the internet, he never would have got that far.
Exactly.
If it was a Twitter interaction, my fault, bro. My boss just died. I don't know what to tell you. Oh damn, I don't know. My account's like locked. I can't talk about certain words. Like he just gatekeep them out. This is why we need gatekeepers. This stops people like Jake Gyllenhaal's character from coming in. So personally, I think that's Jake Gyllenhaal's best movie.
Yep.
I give it a solid 4 out of 5.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah?
4.5.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like bordering 4.5. It's not that anything ruined the movie that makes it less than a 4.5. I'm very particular.
It's great, but it's not amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm also very particular with what I can give a movie like 4.5 or 5. I try to keep it in the consensus, like in the realm with these other movies that I've given those scores to. I'm not comparing them directly to those, but you know what I mean. Like Killers of the Flower Moon is like a 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I gave that a 5. But
like,
then again, I did see it once.
You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I'm not saying it's just as good or it's worse than that movie, but Killers of the Flower Moon did more and did better with certain things than I just think Nightcrawler did. But 4, depending on the day, 4.5. I'm definitely gonna watch it again.
Yeah.
And So we're on the same page with that. We'll try to keep score. I really want to see where we differ. That's what we'll see like later on in the further episodes. But to wrap it up, I thought I'd give some like fun facts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to name this segment?
I
put him on the spot, ladies and gentlemen. He's thinking about challengers.
I've been up since 4 a.m. Oh man. Been up since 4 a.m. It's 4:46 right now.
We're just gonna call this the final segment.
The final segment.
There we go. I fucking
like
it. Okay. So I just wanted to go over some like interesting facts and shit that I found. So Jake Gyllenhaal lost 20 pounds for this role. This was Gyllenhaal's own ideal as he visualized Lou as a hungry coyote. And goddamn, that is so accurate. That's perfect. You know what I mean? Like if it was like a cartoon, it'd be like a coyote where you could see his rib cage and he's got like flies around him damn near.
Oh man.
Especially when he slicks his hair back.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Perfect. This is why you need to have like actors should always have some sort of creative freedom.
Yeah.
Makes me think back to that Quentin Tarantino thing where he was working with Robert De Niro on Jackie Brown, and they're trying to figure out how to like model the character and his mannerisms and different things, and they like, started with the shoes, bro. So what type of shoes would he wear? He's like, well, he just got out of prison, so he's this old, blah, 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 and that's how he started.
Wow.
And like, I'm not saying that's what he did,
but still.
But like that's, like, it follows in that realm. And 20 pounds is no joke, and you can see it in that. Which is crazy, because this man, we've seen Jake Gyllenhaal ripped. We've seen him kind of built, but that's different. That's really wild. During the scene where Jake Gyllenhaal screams at himself in the mirror, Gyllenhaal got so into this. There's a moment where I believe I think that's when the other guy beats him to the stuff, right? The guy with the 2 vans that he ends up fucking over, and he has this moment in the bathroom where he freaks the fuck out in a mirror and he's screaming. So Gyllenhaal got so into this improvised scene, that the mirror broke, cutting his hand. Yeah, he was driven to the hospital by the director after a 19-hour day of working and got 46 stitches in a 4-hour-long operation, returning to the set 6 hours after being discharged. This is the reason why Gyllenhaal had his hand behind his back in the scene when he tells the scrapyard owner his motto in the beginning of the movie. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Jake Gyllenhaal and Riz Ahmed rode along with actual Nightcrawlers in Los Angeles to prepare for their roles, which was really dope. And apparently Jake Gyllenhaal memorized the entire movie like a play. Like, can you hear the way this man was locked in? Is crazy.
Yeah, that
dude.
makes sense.
This is like making it a 4.5 for me almost. Like the improvised, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
To create the appearance, Jake Gyllenhaal worked out for up to 8 hours a day and ran or cycled to the set every day. Man, it's different. The film was shot over 28 nights. It's just short.
Wow.
A month. That's pretty crazy, and it does make sense because I feel like there's only like maybe 5 scenes during the day.
Yeah.
And like a quarter of them are like in his apartment during the day.
And then like the one in the cafe.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're small moments. Dan Gilroy, the director, considered a backstory that would help explain how Lou Bloom became the amoral and damaged survivor, quote unquote. However, he cut the entire idea from the script because he didn't want to either spend a lot of time on the origin or make him sympathetic.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is a better Joker, like than Joker. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to feel bad for the Joker. This is how I should feel. Yeah. Like, this dude's a piece of shit, bro. That's crazy. Apparently several actors auditioned for the character of Rick, but while most played him as a laid-back, pot-smoking surfer dude, Dan loved how Ahmed's audition played him far sadder. And I do like that. You do get a down-on-his-luck kid trying to just find any job or internship. I love that like interview moment that he has with him, and he's like, you get to be on the ground floor or something. Very exciting. You're like, oh my God, that's what. This dude is just a mentor.
Yeah.
The guy that tries to get you for a pyramid scheme mentorship or whatever the hell, but he has way less morals than they already do.
Yep.
He's not just trying to get your money. He's definitely willing to let you die for it and cover it up. And like I said before, it was based on the career of Arthur Weege Philippe, the first photojournalist who was well known for reaching crime scenes quickly by tuning into police radio broadcasts. Amazing.
It's like Spider-Man, but he does nothing to help.
Oh, wow. The coyote theme became so strong that it was considered as an alternate title. So instead of Nightcrawlers, it probably would have been Coyotes or Coyote.
Wow.
That's pretty interesting. Apparently, this is the last one. Oh, okay, we got 2 more, and then I think we could stop it on there. Apparently, Riz Ahmed, who plays Rick, was unfamiliar with Bed Bath & Beyond and pronounces it oddly at the red light stop at 39:54. Someone corrected him, and every take that he did it the right way wasn't nearly as good, so they stuck with the first take.
Wow.
What did he say? Bed Bath & Beyond? Maybe like something weird.
I don't remember.
Me either. And then, oh wow, that was the directorial debut of the director for that.
Wow.
That's crazy. The diner scene with the 2 shooters eating within saw you saw competing opinions from the the diner scene with the 2 shooters eating within saw competing opinions from the film's technical police advisors. One said the police would wait for backup and then enter in a line, shotguns at the ready, but another recalled that when he was a street cop, he and his partner would enter the establishment and order at the counter as a way of vetting the call. They went with the latter as it aided to the suspense better, and I definitely feel that when the cops walk in, you kind of get a sense of like, okay, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna press them? But they go up and they order, which was really good. And then, the music cues in the movie. Wow, there's so many layers to this movie. Represent the music cues in Lou's head, which is very interesting. And then Dan Gilroy's note to Jake Gyllenhaal for the scene where Lou reveals his grand career plan to Nina was to do it as if he was proposing to her. Which is pretty interesting. And then he did receive nominations for Best Actor at the Golden Globes, the BAFTAs, SAG, the Critics' Choice Awards, and Independent Spirit Awards, and even the Saturn Awards, but he failed to receive an Academy Award nomination. Critics, audiences, major film groups, and publications considered this a major snub. He is only one of 8 actors that this has happened to. So he literally got nominations for everything else except for the Academy Award.
Wow.
Which is messed up, because usually when you get those, you're always in line.
Yeah.
For that, you know what I mean? Just great, and I think that concludes the last segment of the pod. Great ass movie.
Too good.
Great, just so good.
I need to see it again. There's so much I got to see.
Yeah.
I've been itching to watch all the Tarantino movies.
Yeah.
Been itching to watch them. I got to put my girlfriend on to. First on the list is Inglourious Bastards, because I've been glazing that movie since I met her.
Yeah.
So.
No,
but the next few weeks will probably watch
definitely,
that.
And you have to see that movie.
But I need to see this movie again.
Yeah, we even talked about that on the first podcast, Inglourious Bastards. So we're gonna wrap it up. We went a little longer than the last one, but fuck it, who cares? You like movies? Doesn't matter. Yeah. This is just fun. That was great. It was such a good movie. We sometimes will have themes. I've talked about this. Sometimes we won't. It's kind of really what's up to us. We don't really want to be a slave to like the algorithm with everything we gotta watch. If, like I said, if we would have done all the Planet of the Apes movies, as much as I wanted to do them, we can always save it. Great movie, phenomenal, and I think that basically wraps it up for the next movie from next week. We are staying along the same theme. Basically, we're going to watch another movie, I think that flies under the radar. I've seen, you haven't seen, The Machinist, starring Christian Bale. I think it came out like 2012, 2011, 2013, something like that.
I think 2009, right?
Maybe even then. I think it was in between Batman Begins and fucking The Dark Knight, which is crazy. Wow. I could definitely be wrong. But that's the movie for next week. The news segment just ran a little more because it was so good. Yeah. There was just too much that I just had to point on.
Yeah.
But that's the movie for next week. This has been Frame by Frame, episode 2. We hope that you liked. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, do whatever the hell you want. It's up to you. We appreciate anybody that hit play on this, listened all the way through. We love you. Hopefully The Rock, maybe we'll get him on the next one. We'll try. But stay tuned. I'm John Miles.
I'm Kazma.
And this is Frame by Frame, sponsored by Alloy Productions, Alloy NY on Instagram. John Likes Stamos on Instagram for me, Kazma.ny on Instagram, and Kazma.psd on Instagram for my boy over here. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next week. Maybe after we try to do things in 3. That's what I'm trying to go for. 3 is a perfect number. We'll do like one more thriller-ish type of thing along the same lines. If you're down, maybe we could do some Tarantino stuff after that. Yeah, try to figure it out.
Tarantino's always fresh in my mind.
Always.
So, whenever you decide to do Tarantino, I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready.
Again, that's it. Thank you for listening, and
later.
We'll catch y'all later. Peace.